Shout out to this customer bringing in his truck after the weather we had, and he cleaned it. We love it. We love when the vehicles come pre-washed so we don't have to. Let's go. Just getting the pre-scan done before we do any repairs, and the phone's already starting to ring. That's Monday morning, classic, love it. Getting the booth all cleaned up, washed out. We are ready to rock. I miss the days with trucks when the headlight was like $300. Nowadays, 2023. Lots of broken parts. Tearing into this real quick. Gonna have some repair to do there. But organize your stuff. Got little trays in our bin. Everything labeled. So if I don't put this together, somebody else can, and they can figure it out quite easily because we're organized. Oh boy, look at this. This is bad. A little bit of aluminum repair. Pretty nasty. Put a key on there. Genuine hickory handle. So I'm gonna put the bridge on here. I'm gonna heat this up, give her a tap where it's high, and pray that it works out perfectly. It should. Using the finest tool. Fresh box. The best tape out there. Q1. Also, they have green, but I like the yellow. Yellow treats me really well. Fixing this hood. It's aluminum. It's really difficult, and it was a pretty sharp dent right on the body line. But I ended up getting some epoxy on it last night. Now I put filler on top, and I should have a ton of corrosion protection there, and the filler shouldn't fall off, hopefully. I don't think it will, though. I love this. Just wipe the rest of your paddle on your paper here. Peel it off. Throw it away. That's the old style. Don't mind the drips coming out of that, but this guy's an old, I don't know, painter board off from Princess Auto or something. That's a little thinner than a rag. That comes clean. Tuck this up out of the way. Perfect. Hopefully be one and done with one coat of filler. This is kind of an old restoration trick. A lot of the restoration shops, or all of them, they epoxy everything and then they build their filler on top. If I can do this on the collision side, which this is an industry standard, it's just grind the metal bare. And yes, the filler can go over bare metal, but it's just better practice to put epoxy underneath. But sometimes you're just under a time crunch, so if you can take your time like this, especially on this truck, a 23 Silverado, this will last a lot longer. One thing I've been wanting to try, but it's not in Canada yet, but SoCure has a UV cured epoxy primer. So within 2 minutes, let's say, you can have your epoxy down, and then you hit it with UV light, and then the metal is sealed. You put your filler on top, and they have UV cured fillers as well. So you stack that on top, and you should have zero issues with corrosion or rust for that repair for its entire life, because that UV epoxy primer at the very bottom protecting that metal. So I just did a color scan. Now explain to me, we got scores that aren't great, and I go, okay, let me see all results here. Then all of a sudden, I got a good score on here. Make that make sense. I know prime isn't good because I checked the chip and it's too light. But why is it when I search only within the paint code, I get that score? So remember that number, 5041. All results, 5041. Why is that score better? Make it make sense. Now granted, that score doesn't really mean much, because when you go back here and it's a 1.7, which is not very good. This chip really isn't that horrible. It's blendable, but not quite, you want to paint a bumper with it. But it does need to be redder, sure. Maybe that ends up being darker, grayer, if I looked into it, but yeah. Go to show all results. Sometimes you might say, oh, there's a Mazda and you get color chips, like there's a Hyundai right here. I pull up that chip and I can compare it. And if that chip is tight, well, at least I have a chip to check. And then I can go ahead and spray that out, or maybe I just send it. There you go. Based on the cell phone, that Hyundai color, even a little whiter compared to the Ford standard. I don't know. It's all tools. This is all just different tools to get to the end result, and I think we're gonna end up spraying that one out. Even when I just pull up and compare the two, I can tell this one is going to be a little yellower and a little dirtier than that one. This one on the left is standard. That is that redder flop variant one. We can see a little less white. But then the big difference is 0.66, 0.63, 0.54, 0.48, 0.47, 0.29. That's your yellow, your red, your black. You're gonna see a bit of a difference there. I think that might be the ticket. Usually I just fiddle around with the black and gray things up. Kind of gets me where I want to go. I don't really like playing around with the yellows too much, but if I had to start with standard, I would immediately add more black and I wouldn't touch any of that. Maybe even double the black, see what happens. But 50% more, I don't know. Gotta play around with it. Trial and error, done for years. I love having a freshly swept up floor. You know, you do it tonight before you leave, tomorrow morning, start fresh, and you're good to go. Probably gonna start with this in the morning. Thinking, looking at it, maybe do a blend, clear blend up there. Hood's been previously abused, and I don't really wanna get into that. We are tuning up some rust for the second time. Somebody did it once, we're just hopefully gonna do better, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of the job for tomorrow. New bumper on it. Kind of blend it, send it that way, and hope for the best. But if my color's tight, who cares, right?